Welcome to Cybercode Edulabs and welcome to another section of Golang series. So moving on, in this section we will try to write more code and try to read a little bit of documentation. But this will help you to explore this language and will also help you to become production ready very quickly. So now we are done with this hello world. So now we need to create another folder for our new code. So here you make sure you are outside of this hello world folder, and then you can create a new folder. Let me just create it. Sorry. So now I am out of the folder. So here it is. So let me name it as. So today we are going to discuss about variables. So we create it as variables. Okay. And feel free to name with anything, but it is recommended to stick with my folder and file structures. So at least as of now. So and let's create the file name. Just right click on it and new file. So we can name it as main.co. And our file is ready. And as discussed in our previous sessions, it is mandatory to create a .mod file. So and that is the way to go ahead for production ready stuff. So let's go ahead and create it. Open it in the integrated folder. Integrated terminal. Okay, now we need to create it as go mod init example.com/variables, and this is the actual way that we need to follow every time that we create a folder. So we got the mod file created here. So now let's go ahead and write our code. So now I would like to initiate the package. So with name main, package main. So since I'm gonna use main function here, so I use the package name as main. Let's create the function name. Function name. So let's have a little bit discussion here about variables. So first let's create a variable. And to create a variable, so we have to use a keyword var here. Var is a keyword that if you want to create a variable, that we need to use the var as a keyword here. So we provide the variable name. So in this case, let's just say variable name is username here. Username, and it is expected that username is usually string. Let me declare it as Cybercode Edulabs as of now. So and sometimes it is combination of string and numbers too, but in this case we are having this one, so we simply go ahead and put a equal sign here, and let's just say this is going to be any name or whatever you want to keep. You can keep it as a string. So as soon as you are going to run this, so here just look at here. As soon as I save it, it is giving some error for me because it is saying like username is declared but it is not used anywhere. Compiler is throwing this error to us. So so if you want to create any variable and if you don't use it, so it's gonna ask us like, hey, you have declared something and you haven't used it. So here we need to use it, let's say, by printing it. So we need to use the func package. So here I use the shortcut as fp because as I install the Golang IntelliSense here, so it automatically takes the func package with the print line statement using the just fp. So here I'm gonna print this one. Let's say username. here you can just notice it. As soon as I saved it, it automatically imports the package here. So let's print the name and let's go ahead and run it. Go run main.co. So it is taking time for me. No problem, I'll skip this one. It has printed. So now let's go ahead and do some little bit more on that. So what I'll do, so we are going to say I don't want to use println, so I want to use printf, so which is very similar function. In case you have studied in C or other languages, so we are going to say it as just printf. You can also use it as printf. It is similar to C language. What I will want to use is variable is of, I just want to know the type of the variable here. So though we have declared it as string, but I want to know whether the terminal is showing us what the type is. So type is just colon, and here we need to use the capital T, which gives us the type of the variable here, and /n for the new line, and also /t is here, so which is going to be a tab. So we are going to discuss in the coming sessions on top of it. So just put a comma and use our variable name. So just save it and again just run it. So now it's going to show us the type. So you can see here, so it automatically shows the type as a string. So it's cool. Now let's go ahead and copy this one, and let's explore more on it. Let me copy and paste. So now this time I want to have a Boolean type, so I can change the name and make type as bool. So now I want to change as I'm using bool here, so I want to use the name as is logged in, and now I'm using it as bool, as a Boolean. Now generally usually that you use is logged in or is verified, so I have a habit of using is behind every Boolean, because to make it little more obvious. So I'm gonna change this type to Boolean here. So as it is the type of Boolean, so we need to have only two categories, so either true or false. So let's make it as true here. So obviously we need to change the name in every line if you want to get the print and type. So let's run it again, just save it, let's run it again, let's see what is going to say. So yeah, so it is variable, it is showing type as variable, and it is giving me the value as true. And now let's go ahead and again copy this one. Let's explore it more. So now this time, because we don't want to create a separate video for this small stuff, so I have to do it all the things in one video. So this time there is something interesting. Now I will go ahead and change the name to small value here. So let's copy this one and paste it in all the places where the printing is required. So now since it is a small value, so what kind of values that I can put in? So first I need to change the variable type as unsigned integer. So let's change it. Here unsigned integer, so you can see the categories here. So unsigned integer 8, 16, 32 and 64. So as we are using the small values, let's go for the unsigned int 8, and let me declare the value here. Let's say 255. Let's see so what it says. If I run this one, just clear it up, run it again. Let me make it up. Okay, 255 is the value, and it is of type unsigned integer 8. So but what happens if I go ahead and put up the value 256 here? So it is showing up error because you can see that it is in the red mark here. So basically it is saying hey, you are out of my bound. So here you can see cannot use 256 because untype int constant as unsigned integer 8 value in variable declaration. So basically it is saying you are out of my bound. So how can we find that? What are the values that we can use? So in normal case, int is going to take care of everything. So if we can use the integer here, int type, so it's gonna take care of all the values. Whatever you gave. So in certain range, but in this case there is a limited range. So if you can see the documentation, so let me change to assignment. So if you can see the documentation here, so where the Go programming language specification. So just find out the types here. So just find out the numeric types. So here you can see all the numeric types here. So if you can see the unsigned integer, the set of all unsigned 8-bit integer 0 to 255. So the range here it is mentioned as up to 255. So that's the reason as we have given 256. So it gave us the error back. So like the same, if you keep on going 16, 30 to 64, obviously the range is going to be increased. Okay, and but if you want to do more specific to OS, so then there are things that you need to use like byte or something. So now moving on, this is all you can see int 8, 16, 32 and as well as the float 32, 64 as well. So let's dig into more in this. Let's see more on it. So let's go ahead and copy this and paste. Let me put it back to 255. So now this time so here let's make it as a small float value. So initially we did it as a small unsigned integer, right? So now I want to put it as a small float because this is also an interesting discussion here. So in the documentation we saw that there is a float 32 and 34. Let me make it to, either we can use 32 or 34. So let me use 32 first. So now let's go ahead and put the dot since float values which accept the decimal type here. So let me put and give some random value here like this and copy it and paste the value. Okay, let's save it and let's see so how this gonna work. Let's run this one. So let's see what is the most expected output that you see from float 32 here. So this is the most important thing that you should know about it. So if I run and see, so I get the type as float 32 and value is 255 and something like 72368. So in the case of float 32 I get only 5 values so after the decimal and rest of the values are being ignored. So but in the case of float 64 I get some more precise value here. So let me change it to 64, save it and again just run. So in case of float 32 we got only 5 numbers after the decimal. Now if you can see here we got more values. So in simple terms the precision is extended. So in this case I get more precision of that. So now that's all about it. So now we are going to talk about the aliases. So aliases are it is recommended that we use in something like unsigned int and all of that, but there are shorter method for that. So let me go ahead and explain that. So these are some talks about default values that we are gonna create. Default values and some aliases. So this is how we create the comment here. So what you can do is, let's just say I have another variable, and which is a type in here. Here I'm not initializing anything. I just declared it. I just declared the variable, another variable. I'm not initializing it anymore. So but here I'm not, I just declared the variable. So I just go ahead and print this as font dot println and another variable. Just save it. Let's check the type as well. Let me borrow this command. Yes. Okay. Save it and let's go ahead and run it. Okay. The most important thing that you should know about is what is the default value that goes in, and when you just create a variable, and this is something really good and interesting, so that it doesn't put up any garbage value in it. It just gave us 0 as a value. So here you can see that it is 0, and it is always expected if you declare an integer, so it's going to be 0 all the time. So same goes for the string as well. So just try to find out what is there in the string. So you just declare it as a string here. So in the place of int, you just give it as a string and try to check what the value it is gonna give us when you run the code. So just let me know. So what value you get, just let me know in the comment section. So it's simple exercise for you. Just do it. And moving on, there is a little bit more on this. So let me go ahead and show you. There is another way of declaring the variable. So you can say it as there is an implicit type or implicit way of declaring a variable. Implicit. Let me type it right. Okay. So for example, I just say like var website, and I'm gonna declare it some website name like www.google.com and just print it using font package. So notice here, one thing you should have noticed. So nobody is complaining it as we did not declare the type of the variable here. So far we have declared the type of the variable. So but here we did not type any variable. We did not give the type of the variable here. So but it is not complaining any error here. So if you try to run the code, obviously it will work. So it is showing as a variable name as int and giving the output. It is giving the output without any errors. But you may ask me that you told in the presentation that the variable type should be declared and it is very important for the Golang. Of course, yes it is. And this is where again the lecturer comes in and says, hey, if you are not gonna say what type of variable it is, I'll decide it for you based on what value you are putting it up. But definitely if you try to later on do something like this, like you can say website equal to something 4. So obviously it is going to give me the error. So cannot use 4. I'm trying to change the type here, so it won't allow us. So because I have already treated, it can say us that it has already treated it as a string type, so that it cannot change it for us. So this is why the Golang is very popular in the market. So this is what I like in the Golang pretty much. So now moving on, there is also another style known as no var style. So like you can totally ignore the keyword bar and still can declare other variables. So this is also interesting. So let me type it as number of users, and let's just take the liberty of some random number. So let me go ahead and use some random number. So here I'm just using the Wolverus operator here, so which you are gonna see throughout the Golang series. So which is very simple. So it is having only colon and equal to symbol. So let's just go ahead and say this is some random value, and I'm gonna print this out using func printer and number of user. So just save it and run it. So this is absolutely fine. So Go code accept this absolutely fine. And if you are gonna change it to decimal, I mean some decimal value, so like some decimal value, let's print it out again. It still works fine. So this is most easiest thing that we can use, but this is allowed inside any method. Here we are declaring this in the main method. So here you can see it is accepting it, but up to this is allowed only inside the method. So if you declare the same on top of the method, so you are not allowed to do this. Let me declare the same here. I can use something job token, and let me use the same Wolverus operator, job token. Let me give some token name, some random name here. So here you can see it is not accepting. But why it is only accepting inside the method but not outside the method? So here this Wolverus operator, as designed by the Golang team, so it is only accepted within the methods only but not outside the method. So but if I want to declare outside the methods, how can we use it? So simply we can use the var keyword, and also you can use the type. So this will work obviously. So moving on, so one last thing, so that is going to be important, and you should remember that you also go ahead and declare some constant here. So before that, let's see if this is going to be printed out. Let me use this one, and let's just print this out inside the method. Println, just print it out. Sorry, J got missed. Yeah, see, this is working fine. So though you declared this variable outside the method, so it is being used inside the method as well. So this is how it works. So now we need to focus on the constants. So while declaring the constants, so you need to be very, very careful here. So let me go ahead and say, let's first remove this one. Constant variable is declared by using the const keyword here, and then let me use some login token, and the type will be obviously string here, and let me use some random value. So here it is important that you need to note that a lot of people in the initial days might here I have declared the constant variable, so with first letter as capital here. So just observe it. So capital letter is having a significant importance here. The reason for that is that this is now a public variable. So in case you are coming up from other languages, this is almost equivalent to public keyword, like in Java. Just we can use like the public keyword in Java. So this is the same type in Golang. So now this login token, in the Golang we do that by putting up the first letter as capital. So make sure to keep it in mind. So now this login token is now accessible by any other file, so into this folder or actually in this program, and you can use this anywhere. So since the login token is available, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to print up in the main method. So like the same as we did in the job token. So let's go ahead and print this one. Copy and just paste here. Just run it. So obviously it is giving the output as this got public. So you can use anywhere in every file, in all the files, in other folders also you can use, because this is the public variable. And okay, fine. I know there was a lot in this video. I have tried to show you different ways how you can declare variables in constant and Golang, and somewhere Walrus operator is allowed and somewhere it is not allowed. So and also please go ahead and dig up a little bit into the documentation so that you know more about it. Well, quite a lot of stuff. You also just practice it, which is the only way to learn programming. So let's go ahead and catch up in the next video. Thank you very much.